Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff O'Hanley. I'm the Program Director for Otsego County Conservation Association. I think at this point, what I'm going to do is just introduce Shane Digan. Shane is the Recycling Coordinator for Otsego County. And the department in general has been a longtime ally of OCCA, or we've been a longtime ally of the department. And Shane has some dual history as a one-time intern at OCCA as well. And we're always happy to see folks who worked for us move on to bigger and better things. So I'm going to turn this over to Shane now. And Shane, take it away.
Thank you, Jeff. Let me just share my screen and get started. I would negate the idea that the county is bigger and better, but different.
Different.
So I will get right into it. I'm going to talk about a little bit about the department and some updates in the solid waste and recycling world here in Otsego County. Again, as Jeff said, my name is Shane Digan. I'm the recycling coordinator. I'm also a planner. So just a brief mention of our department. We are a planning and solid waste department. So similar to OCCA, we also do a lot of land use planning, comprehensive planning, reviewing local laws, housing grants, different stuff like that. We also have, we are the de facto public transportation department for the county, and obviously solid waste and recycling. So I'm going to go through all this, and then if there's any questions at the end, I will obviously answer them. The first thing I want to make people aware of that's going on in our department is the Waste Smart Business Award. This is something new as of last month. And basically any business or institution in Otsego County, so it's called the business certification. I wrote award there, I really should have written certification, but you don't have to be OCCA could apply for it. It's not something only retail businesses can do. But anyway, there are 3 levels of certification: silver, bronze, gold, bronze, silver, gold. There's a form on our website to fill out, and I can also provide paper copies. And basically it recognizes businesses that are going above and beyond what they need to do to be waste smart. And what I mean by waste smart, there's a variety of things I could mean by that. So having an organics composting program, that will earn you a point or a couple points. Having recycling bins everywhere you have a trash bin, having those bins clearly labeled, training employees on what to do, how to recycle, engaging in recycling of uncommon item, recycling your polystyrene, styrofoam, recycling any paint you might have, recycling, anything like that. It's pretty open-ended, having clear solid waste goals, performing a waste audit. So it's basically to recognize businesses that go above and beyond. And the recognition, if a business gets bronze, silver, or gold, it will be placed on our website, get a social media posting, and an award letter from the county. So our first and right now only recipient of this certification is the Richfield Springs Community Cooperative in Richfield Springs, and they have received the silver designation. Now, if you get gold, you will also have a spotlight on our radio advertisements for that month. So if you've ever heard trash talk on the radio, you get a spotlight there. And we have offered to make a video and put that on our Facebook account. So a video, however you want, whether it's a tour of the business or an interview, both. Obviously, we don't have any gold recipients yet, so we don't really have an example to go off of. But the second big thing that's happening in our department, this is probably the biggest change happening right now, is we have a new proposed law called the Mandatory Source Separation and Recycling Law. It is public, so you can access this by going to the website, the county website, and navigating to where they have board meeting minutes. And if you go to last month's minutes, this month, March, it's in the minutes for March's meeting. And so what this does, like I said, it is proposed, so it hasn't actually been voted on by the full board. That we are expecting to happen hopefully at, sorry, I said March, I meant April. Hopefully that will happen at May's meeting. They will vote on this, if not May, June. And what it basically does is it's a large document, but to try to summarize it, is it clarifies the mandate to recycle. So It mainly, I mean, it affects everyone, so it requires recycling from everyone, but it mainly, the enforcement comes down to haulers, waste haulers, and then businesses, institutional, commercial, it's kind of a category, and then multifamily owners, so people that are landlords, for lack of a better word. So haulers, it's going to introduce a new licensing system. So, you're going to have a license to collect and deliver solid waste in our county, and you're going to have to deliver to an approved facility. The effect on business and that licensing, what's involved with that is haulers are going to have to provide recycling to residents. It's not going to be an option. They have to provide recycling, and they have to take that recycling separately. So they can't just say, oh, I'm going to put out a recycling bin and throw it in the trash anyway. They have to deliver it separately to a approved facility. Businesses, institutional, commercial, so that large category, they are also going to have to recycle. And they have to recycle. The more clear regulation comes in with generators of 20 employees or more, they have to sign an agreement with us that basically reaffirms that they must clearly label their waste bins, provide information, training to people responsible for waste in the business, and ensure that separated material is delivered separately. And it's a similar requirement for multifamily owners, and multifamily owners or managers will have to sign a plan if they have 5 units or more collectively owned within the county. And there's a fine structure I don't want to get into unless people have questions, but ranges from a warning letter to $1,500 is a fine structure in there. And obviously with haulers, we would have the ability to revoke the license. Anyway, more exciting for residents is Household Hazardous Waste Day. I want to make people aware that the 23rd annual, we skipped it last year, so it's not really consecutive, but the 23rd annual Household Hazardous Waste Day is happening this coming August, the 20th and the 21st. The 20th in Unadilla, so if you live in the southwestern part of the county, you can go there. And the 21st, which is a Saturday, at the Meadows Office Complex in Cooperstown, technically Middlefield. That's where our office is. Businesses, if there's any businesses that end up watching this video, SESQs, they can register. They're going to have to register. That's going to be Friday afternoon at the Meadows. And if you haven't heard of this program before, we accept a variety of things that are pretty much impossible to get rid of otherwise. So corrosives, pool chemicals, paints and stains, adhesives, solvents, antifreeze, batteries, pharmaceuticals, more than that. The one change, if you've been last year and are going this year, or 2 years ago and you're going this year, we are not offering electronics collection. It slowed the system down too much, we think. And electronics you could take any time of the year to Oneonta. And obviously OCCA is a big partner with this. So if you're an OCCA volunteer and want to help us out with Hazardous Waste Day, talk to Jeff or myself, but we will certainly need help with this event. Food waste and composting. So one thing that we're trying to gear up for is in 2022, the New York State is mandating that large generators, an average of 2 tons a week or more of food waste, separate that food waste. But what we're trying to do is push it not just for businesses, but for residents as well. So right now you can buy food waste bins, and this is a perfect example of an OCCA county partnership. OCCA has bought the bins for the county for us to provide to residents. So they are for sale at a variety of locations right here in my office at the Meadows, at the Oneonta Transfer Station, Cooperstown Northern Transfer Station, Oneonta Town Hall, and there's a couple other locations as well. They're airtight, they're small. There's got the 6-gallon one and the 2-gallon. I personally only have a 6-gallon, it works fine for me. And then you can bring that food waste. It doesn't have to be in that container. You can bring your food waste in a paint bucket if you want to the transfer station. It's only $1 a bucket up to 6 gallons or 10 gallons, blanket on that. And that middle image there is an example of the type of food we're accepting. So fruits, vegetables, grains, coffee grounds, things like that. At the moment, we do not accept dairy, meat, bones, fish, silverware, even if it says compostable, packaging, stuff like that. So it's really just what you would be comfortable composting in your backyard. And speaking of backyard composting, we know that many of our residents in the county have land and don't really see the need to take it to us when they could just compost in their backyard. And we support that fully. And this year, going on right now, we have a composter and rain barrel sale. And I don't know if you can see that link, but it's on our website. And it's otsegocompostersale.ecwid.com. You can find that. You can email me, or it's on our website. And you can buy those items listed below. So you'll notice that the 2 food waste bins are also there. Those are for purchase on the day of only. But besides that, you'll see there's a 55-gallon rain barrel and an Earth Machine composter. Comes with an instruction booklet along with some accessories. And the pickup day for that is May 7th from 4 to 7 p.m. right here at the Meadows office building. So that's all I really have. That's kind of a broad overview of changes going on in the solid waste world. I wanted to leave it open if there's any questions. I didn't want to be too boring. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them, and that's my contact information.
Great. Thank you very much, Shane. I think that what we'll be able to do as a small group, we should be able to allow people to just come off of mute if they have questions. But I am actually going to start off with a question for you about the composting. And I know you said that residents can bring composting. That is only at the Southern Transfer Station currently, correct?
Correct, but anyone in the county can.
Right, for $1 a bucket. And is the compost that is made from our scraps available for people to use?
It's available for purchase at Sewer
Purchase.
Sand
Yep.
Gravel.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
And I actually also had one question regarding the law, the recycling law. If that's that I guess will be the shorthand.
Yeah, that's what I use. That's what I
Shorthand.
call it too.
The state currently does mandate recycling, correct?
It mandates that counties mandate it.
Okay. Okay. Because I seem to remember there being some discussion at one point that the state mandated recycling, but didn't necessarily determine who had to do it or something like that, that there was some question. Because
Yeah, they, I don't know exactly how it reads offhand, but they basically require counties to have some sort of law in the books. And that's been true since 1980s.
1980s, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it is. It's not, I mean, we basically have to have, we've already had a law in the books. It was just never really enforced.
Right.
Pretty confusing, ambiguous. So.
Yeah, I remember being at a meeting with your predecessor and some folks when we were discussing some recycling issues, and the quote was, as far as the county, we could do nothing in terms of recycling, which caused some jaws to drop. And I think it was because of how the law was actually written that I think the state mandated it, but maybe they didn't necessarily say, how it had to be done or something like that. So.
Right. Yeah, that's the understanding I had, but that's not really true.
Right.
We can't do nothing. I mean, well, I should say we can, that's kind of a weird thing. We can, we could dissolve our department and be private, but we have to have a law on the books.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to really have manpower, but you have to have a law.
Right. Right. Okay. Any other questions that folks have right now?
I have a question, Shane. These initiatives all sound so fantastic. Great job. Thank you so much. I was at, I think it was your talk with Tyson Robb through the Audubon Society, and you mentioned that Otsego County doesn't have its own landfill, that all of the trash was trucked to Ontario County. Is that right? Or,
most of it, some of it goes to Shamokin County. But it's all trucked out.
Are there any pros and cons to not having our own landfill here? Is it conservation based? It seems like it could be more resilient that way and also create jobs. Delhi or Hampton has such state-of-the-art stuff going on there that seems like they could be a model in some ways for the future, but there might be political things I'm not aware of or other logistical pros and cons.
I personally think it's a good idea to have our own landfill. I think that if it's going to get buried anyway, we might as well not spend and use the fossil fuels to truck it hours away. It just hasn't happened. There's I don't have a great answer for that. It's something that I've looked into. I've started, last week I started mapping out possible locations on county-owned land. call your rep, I guess. You know, it's going to take more than just our department to make something like that happen.
Okay. Thanks for addressing that. And it sounds like a great idea to me. I will keep my ears open and talk to the reps. Thanks.
Sure. And along with that, I should mention, you know, we are running out of space at the landfills we do use. And we're not the only, you know, we're not the only ones that use these landfills. I mean, like Columbia County, it's even farther away and they're using the same landfill we're using. And a lot of other counties are. And I think Ontario only has, it's less than 10 years. I mean, they're currently seeking an expansion, but the permitting process, even for an expansion, could take multiple years anyway. So we need to do something.
Yes, agreed. Thank you. Maybe on a lighter question would just be about like recycling education. And even I know in my home, a topic I'm really interested in. I care a lot about it. You know, I'm washing out my recyclables, but I'm still really fuzzy on if all the stuff that I'm putting in the bin is getting where it needs to go. And like when my partner opens a tomato can from the side instead of the top and the edges are all jagged, I'm thinking, oh, I shouldn't put that in the recycling because it might hurt somebody. So I put it in the garbage instead. And I just, I'm not sure where to go for the answers to those questions. I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, I can try to answer some of that. I would say, just to answer the question of where does it go? So it all, I mean, it all, and this is good if people are watching this video later to explain this. So we, you know, you have to think about it. There's many steps. First, you put it out on the sidewalk. The first step, and where most of it is lost, is right here. So you have to make sure that when you put your recycling out, it's not then getting mixed in with garbage and whoever's picking it up. That's step one. Otherwise, we have nothing to do about that. If we don't sort it, is what I'm trying to say. So when a hauler brings in trash for recycling, there's no sorting that happens at the county. We take the recycling they give us, and we take that to a materials recovery facility in Albany called Sierra Processing, and then we take the garbage and we send it to a landfill. So from our end, we certainly do separate them out and we send them to the right place. I can't always guarantee what happens after Sierra, processing. They are a regulated facility by the DEC, so I assume they're doing the right things. In terms of, so it does get recycled. It's not hopeless. And I know that in the past few years, there's been a lot of negative press about recycling, but I could say that it is starting to slowly come back. The markets, we're getting better rates. There's some good news coming down the pipeline, at least for us. In terms of the sharp edges, I mean, that is true. I've seen them sort it. I mean, at a certain level, there are machines that sort a lot of it. They have, magnetic stuff. They have air sorting. But there are people that do go through it. I mean, they wear gloves, but if it's something that is really like a blade, yeah, don't put that in. But obviously every can is going to have some sharp edge. That's okay. But
now, do any of the places along the line, is there like an infographic or a poster or something that I could access easily to help educate my family on an ongoing basis?
I don't have one, but that's a good suggestion. So I don't know if OCCA has one, but that's a good suggestion if it doesn't exist.
It's really kind of funny that as soon as you ask that, I think, of course there's one. And then B, I think, actually, I don't think we do have one. And part of it may have been because for a while there, things changed a lot. And they changed fairly quickly. And some of it has depended on where our materials go. I've been in the county for 20 years now, I think. And I know when we got here, what Otsego County recycled was something like, plastics numbers 1, 2, and 3, and then like metal, glass, and cardboard. And then next door in Shenango County, they were recycling plastics 1 through 7 and, glass, cardboard, and stuff. But everything had to be separated separately. And then Otsego County became like 1 to 5 and 7 or something. And then, it was 1 through 7 and everything goes together.
We do have a brochure, and it's on our website, and I have hard copies, but it doesn't have doesn't really show like where it goes, but it shows what you can recycle, and all the specialty recycling we have. So we do have a brochure, but we don't really have a diagram like that, no.
Okay, well, the brochure is a good start. You said that it's just on your website. I can download it and print it.
Yeah, you can. Our website is looks a little old sometimes, but I can try to find it right now, actually.
Great. Well, it
Pop it
means
in there.
you're using resources for more important things.
And I think if you've ever seen, there are videos out there from some other places where they show how the zero sort facilities work. It's really interesting, and I think it's up at I know that I know excuse me, I can't speak. Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority, I believe is the proper pronunciation, does tours of their facility, and it's really interesting to watch. A lot of it is machine driven. Obviously, they do, as Shane said, they do have people on the line to try to make sure they pull out things that are, you know, that don't belong there. And but that's also part of why it's so important not to put the wrong things in the bin, is, because it can tangle up the machinery and it can be a hazard to the employees working there as well. But yeah, if you can watch one of those videos, or get on a tour someday, it's really worthwhile and interesting.
Delaware County does tours too. I just don't
Oh,
know
that's
with
right.
COVID if they have or what. But
Right.
yeah, and Delaware County is right next door. I mean, they
That's
got
true.
quite a system.
Yes.
That's the dream. That's the goal. Gotta have goals.
Well,
That's
they
so
also
great.
have their landfill. I'm
It
sorry,
seems like
Caitlin.
with your, oh, I was just thanking you for your answer. And it seems like with your close relationship with Delaware County that I'm hopeful that all of that information can be leveraged towards funding for an Otsego County facility in the not so far future.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I see you joined us, Bill. Are you really there?
I am. I'm sorry. I'm a little rusty on the Zoom end. I use Teams a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got held up out in the parking lot and then realized the time.
Well, thanks for
Interesting
joining us.
conversation. Yeah, my county that I live in, Delaware County, is pretty impressive. I don't believe the tours have restarted because of the COVID. But again, Shane and I, you were talking with me, 2 days ago when we were here at the reuse center. And, it is a goal. It's a big goal, even though I'm not a resident of the county, you guys need a landfill. You guys need the service. One thing I'd like to add in with these tough recyclables, yesterday we did a lot of advertising of like ink cartridges and, the Legos, the crazy stuff that nobody thinks of recycling, the toothbrushes. All these services are available. Most of them are free. If you had 4 ink cartridges laying around your house, there's a company that we posted the website at that will send you a postage paid label, and you can send it back to them and they'll get recycled. So it's really like, Caitlin was asking, education is I think #1 to start with, and then moving forward, following through with it.
Right. So, Bill, are we actually going to send you home with all of our inkjet cartridges that we collect tomorrow?
That, and hopefully wine corks and a lot of polystyrene we're going to collect tomorrow.
Right.
I'm hoping it's going to be a successful event.
We have a lot of people signed up. Caitlin, I'm not sure if you are bringing anything tomorrow for the drive-through drop-off event, but Bill Hardy here is Bill. I don't even actually know your title, but you run the reuse center down in Oneonta, and he's collecting the quote unquote styrofoam and wine corks and some other things as well. So nice to have you on there, Bill.
Pleasure to be here, Jeff. And just so you know, going forward in this county, and Shane knows aware of this, I think you are aware of this, Jeff, is that we just received our bulb eater for fiberglass bulbs. So now we can recycle here at the reuse center 8-foot tubes, 4-foot tubes, 2-foot tubes, CFLs, all the things that are going into, I can guarantee, the waste stream. It's a big challenge to try to get these businesses on board in town even
Right.
that accept them to do the right thing. And, I'm excited to start that. And hopefully within the month or 2, we will have that up and running.
Great. Well, let us know and we'll help plug put the word out.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
We got all the recycling heads here. Everyone in county recycling, except Martha.
That's true. Where is Martha? I don't know. So, all right. Anything else? Anybody else?
It's okay if not. You know how to reach me.
Yep. Yep. Well, thank you, Shane, so much for sharing your expertise and what's going on in the county. Thank you, Bill and Caitlin, for joining us, and Amy as well, of course. And we did record. We'll post it as soon as I can. And again, thanks so much, and look for some of those other Earth Festival activities coming up. And we'll see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Oh, wait,
Thank
I do
you.
see something in the chat. What was that? Oh, okay, that's the, yep,
Yep.
very good.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.